So this is, for in-house only, but those kind of conversations are what we need to have.
Mm-hmm.
Our communities are in need of recognizing who they are and whose we are. And I think too often we don't have the confidence to shift out of the scarcity mindset quick enough. So what you did when you took massive action, you threw the reason for waiting to learn this, the reason for I'm going to try, those common statements, you come in and you run.
Right.
So you said 14 Zooms a day.
14 Zooms a day. Here's the deal though, sis, and this is on my heart again. Everybody needs to know this, man. In throughout life, the only constant is always going to be change. So, mindset plus skill set equals jet set. When people hear that word jet set, they say, oh, I don't need no G5, no G10. I don't need no Bentley coupe. Your jet set is whatever your jet set wants to be, whatever you want it to be. If you want your jet set to be a modest house with a white picket fence, so that's your jet set. But understand that, you can have whatever you want if you just go ahead and pour yourself into somebody else's success. You just gotta want to be. And sis, you know what's crazy? A lot of people don't know that they don't know the purpose in life. They don't understand that there's two important days of your life. One is the day that you're born. The second is the time or the day you find your purpose. And your purpose, 99.999% of the times, your purpose is going to be dealing with people.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we're here. We're next. We have to coexist.
But this, to me, is the method by which you can best hone your self-improvement and community improvement, because you're having to, by virtue of dealing with lots of people.
It's a must. It's a must. Now, of course, you're going to have those that are saying, that, I'm an introvert, I'm a recluse, and I get that. But once again, that word change comes to mind.
But now look at it, though. Your largest numbers of multi-millionaires, like multi-billionaire type, big company owners, right, they're all introverts.
Right.
So the introvert, we got two sitting right here, Sister Grace, Brother, they both are introverted. I'm an introvert who hides the fact that I'm introverted.
Right.
Because I understand you got to do what you have to do,
right,
while you can do what you want to do. But I can go to the beach and sit there by myself all day long and be completely happy.
Same here. But you know what? I call it making yourself sexy for the marketplace. You have to embrace that change. You know what I'm saying? Tweak that mindset, learn a new skill set, and then go ahead and get your jet set.
I love it.
You have to want to deal with people. And it just so happens to be that most of the time in life, period, people are our commodity.
Yes, sir. Now, my husband has done these different trainings on personality types, and then I ended up stumbling into something as I'm always constantly looking at resources to improve on all of my relationships, because I want to have a healthy relationship.
Good book. I don't mean to cut you off. Good book, The 4 Colors.
Okay, I haven't heard that one. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. That's why doing this cooperatively, we're masterminding regularly, and most people don't get a chance to have masterminds regularly, whereby you're constantly reshifting, constantly making sure you're not sitting on your laurels. My husband knows so much that I always laugh, as well as Sister Grace, because they like to just sit and then they want to drop a grenade ever so often and then go back.
That's my girl, my brother.
But it's because they're so observant. Brother Aziz, can you kind of speak to the different personality types and why you should not think that an introvert is somehow less than an extrovert? Because that's the thing that I'm recognizing. Everybody plays a role. Right. And all will have to step outside of our comfort, right? So for that moment when you're being assertive, you're going to end up being maybe outside of your comfort, but it's staying true to who you are while just mastering the skill sets that lets us win. Can you kind of speak to that?
Well, basically with the personalities of each individual, they have a certain skill set. So you have, in order to achieve a goal, each person will have to be a dominant person, a person to be an extrovert, a person is more of a system person. The person is the one that kind of get the party started. More people person, and you got a person that's more of a data information. So you have to, go in, put people where they fit. Of course, they will have to shift and come out of, at times, but you will get more done once a person analyze what their purpose is, and they can succeed in their purpose. And then the whole picture and the whole goal, everything will come all together. You run how things be so smoothly. If you have a person, who's a dominant person, really want to get things done, you're not going to really put them person on the telephone, making phone calls, welcoming until,
Cheer them off, right?
it's not going to work, but
Right.
you'll put a person who is more of a people person, meaning they're more welcoming and friendly to get the information and welcoming. You put them at the front desk. You want to put a person who wanted to get the party, get the day going. Let's go ahead and get this over with. No, not say, but just kind of just get it moving. You're not going to put them at the front door. You'll be sabotaging yourself.
Right.
Because let me finish. But because people are looking for an experience when they come in. So
Come
the
on.
permanent person is not the person that's going to give you the experience. So you have to analyze it. Not that people could, shift and do different things. No, that's not saying that. But you have to think ahead and make sure you have the right people at the right spot.
And so my question for you is, then what does it look like when you have maybe certain people who their role is to bring the people to the Zooms? Their role is to bring the people to the video. And then there's another set of people who are to pour into those people doing membership development. Are those basically the two functions that we kind of are thinking is going to best help to support this movement? Is there another? That's kind of my thought of question.
It's kind of the same type to do that, to bring the people there. Once, they are there, then the person kind of have to shift to being able to make the experience for the people to say, for someone to say, hey, come on, yeah, you need to come over here. This is where the party. Most time when you go to a party, someone say, hey, you need to come to this party this week because of because the experience at this party, you need to come here. So once we get a person that can get them there, then you get the person that can keep people coming. So it's kind of like it could be
the promoter.
It could be the same person. They just have to shift. If you have two people,
but actually, I think what I'm trying to think through, right, is who are the different people. So it sounds like what you're saying is there's someone who's bringing people to the information. There's a different set of people that are pouring into people, but while pouring into people, they're also promoting more people. Is that kind of what I'm hearing? But it's really, I guess, Brother Odell, it's the people who support the people in learning how to get more people. Is that kind of what it is?
Everyone kind of have to learn all of it until you get the people. Then you begin to, then you know who the people will be. Who's going to they're just going to just naturally just do it.
Right.
Like what I'm telling them, they're going to do it. When you start seeing the people grow, it's not going to necessarily be you yourself bringing the people. You're doing it. You're talking to people, but the influx is going to come from people who naturally have that skill set, and they don't even know they have it. Well, some know they have it, but they're just going to just do it naturally.
So then,
and that's where you identify the people, those individuals, to go ahead and bring out to say invite to the Zoom, and they're going to hear that. It's going to just click right off. It's going to click in their head. They're going to just do it because it resonates with them, and they're going to want more people to come.
Uncle Odell, can you add on to that?
I want to just keep it basically simple myself. Just with the four general types of people, we've always been saying this. Since COVID's reinvented a lot of things, man. It's made a lot of changes. It's crazy as it may sound. It's almost like an oxymoron. It made life almost a little simpler on the work side of the fence. So with that being said, all you have to do, in comparison to yesteryear network marketing, which was 2 years ago, when we was in coffee shops, Panera Breads, out and about in the malls or whatever, all you have to do is become a professional inviter. There's nothing more, nothing less. And what I've learned over the past 2 years, and more so over the past year in the Vine, that anybody can become a professional invite. Anybody. It doesn't take a whole lot of arithmetic. It doesn't take a whole lot of mojo or hocus pocus science to get people in front of information. It's what the people do after the information was viewed is what is critical. And that's where your leaders come in, because like Brother Aziz said, everybody's not built or even understand how to close. So that's where the training really begins. Once they become a professional inviter, and then you do a third party, and the third party is everything. Because not only is it you doing the closing on the person, but it's also teaching that particular person that connected you to the prospect and the prospect on what they can do. That's why you always hear the Shay say this: can you do what Sister Aziz is doing? And a lot of people got to pause for a second, like, well, what is she doing? She's not doing nothing. Exactly. That's the simplicity of this whole thing right here. That's how simple it is. It doesn't need to be over everything else, the scientifics of everything, the mechanics of everything. It's an earn while you learn process. You'll learn as you go along, just as long as you don't quit. Because if you try to understand all this at one time, you will be, you'll quit. You'll be so overwhelmed you wouldn't know what to shake a stick at.
But I think that's why most people who start businesses get bottlenecked and fail when they don't have this kind of supportive thing where they're in business for themselves, by themselves. Whereas
it doesn't exist anywhere else. That's why people don't understand it. It's hard to wrap your mind around it because, first of all, if you're coming from a traditional setting, either employee or owner, if you're coming from that side of the fence of even any four quadrant, if you're coming from it, you're not used to this type of support. In fact, our people, when we see this kind of support, we kind of shun from it. We kind of say, okay, you know what? I ain't never had my neighbor come over and ask to cut my grass. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had nobody that wanted to support me like this. And we see it as a facade. When in truth, the fact of the matter is, we're here. And just the way that this compensation plan is designed, it's made for that type of activity. It's made for me to help my sister out. It's made for me to help my brother out. It's the
first one that I've ever seen designed where I can build under everybody and your builders can build under other people. Right. You know, I love the fact that you make sure your dad gets $1,000 a month check just from, you know, being a part of the organization. Right. That's the kind of family legacy to me that's big, because we respect our loved ones as the first few people we bring in, and they don't have to do much. Anybody can make sure that they have either 160 or so dollars worth of sales or wholesale purchases, but that giving them the ability to have that kind of residual income, that's transforming generational wealth.
Hey sis, it goes along the lines of like this. Back in the days when the brownstones in Brooklyn, even the white stones in Brooklyn, where the Jews weren't even really buying them strongly then, and they were up for sale for anybody. And I know a lot of people that reneged on them. And now they're looking at it and saying, okay, the white stones are going for like $2.2 million. Some of the brown stones are going for 1.5. You know, back in the days, we had the opportunity. Well, this business model, when you have your grand opening, you have 3 prime positions. And it would behoove you to put people that you know, like, and definitely love in one of those 3 positions. Because one, even if they don't come in and get started, eventually things are going to happen where numbers are going to be hit and it's going to make sense to them. If I do ABC, I can get XYZ? Yes. That's the simplicity of this comp plan. There's really no excuses, man. You just gotta want more and do more.
Which is having a more abundant perspective, a more abundant vision. And that's hugely impactful. Sister Grace, if you could just hit the